the interception kind of turned it on.
Yeah, yeah.
Could you first talk about being able to escape with this one?
Well, we felt like that we could, you know. What I worried about most was, you know, maybe wearing down, and you've seen a little bit of that. You've seen that happening. And one thing that we often fight against is whenever things like that, the interception, you know, whenever that happened, then we tend to get down. I thought we were fixing to fight through it, and then it just seemed like we you know, self-destructed a little bit of, you know, a few penalties here and there, and it just put us in a bad spot, and we weren't able to overcome.
Coach, can you talk about the play of Ben Crockett? I don't know if stats quoted, but I think 12 or 13 touchdowns today.
Yeah, well, I knew, you know, you watch film, you know what to expect, and sometimes in the back of your mind, you know, you think, you know, well, there's no way they could be, you know, breaking tackle. But you know, I told the kids or the coaches mostly, I said, you know, if we're in position, we got to make plays. But there's a reason that you see, you know, people falling off of him is because he's, you know, he runs hard and he's hard to tackle. So I thought whenever we wore down a bit, you could see it big time. Because I thought at first I was kind of interested in it looked like they kind of went away from what we know them to do a lot of and went more of shotgun spread and stuff. And I was wondering if something was, you know, if we had done something. I mean, because I thought we controlled it pretty decent. And then whenever they went in that set, the spread set, shotgun, you know, I thought, I wonder if they're going to go back to that. Well, they did, you know, and he's tough.
Were you amazed when you were able to stop him on a couple of downs and then he was, you know, break from?
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I with good backs, that happens a lot. I mean, you just keep feeding them. I mean, why not? You might stop them a few plays, but you're betting that they're gonna break the big one eventually. And you know, that's what hats off to them. They went back to it, and you know, he was ready.
Coach, that's the most points that any team has scored against McLean this year. What does that just say about, you know, your guys and how talented they are offensively?
Well, that's what I thought, that maybe we could wear them down some, chasing us around, you know, we're pretty good offensively. I mean, and Tehran does a good job back there, but I mean, we have a lot of other guys that we can get involved. I thought at times they adjusted on spread rush and they catch you off guard. But I thought that we could put some points up on them. You know, it's just a matter of figuring out, you know, what we needed to do and how they were rushing. You know, they changed up a lot. I mean, I seen them. They were scrambling around. You know, at times sending different people. I think trying to figure out what, and that's what we do. You know, you're going to, you know, do this, do that, send this, and whatever seemed to work a lot better, and the kids settle in more comfortable with to do it. But you know, offensively, I thought coming in that we were going to be able to, you know, move the ball on them, and that you know, we had some good things happen that helped us along the way. But I think we shot ourselves in the foot a few times, and that, you know, in the long run hurt us.
You mentioned chasing all around, and you mentioned Tehran. I mean, obviously, his last game, you know, was it bittersweet, you know, just being able to watch him do what he did, kind of the video game type stuff he was doing out there, and knowing that was his last game and didn't turn out the way he wanted.
Yeah, I feel for him. He puts a lot into it, a lot of thought into it. I sat back in the extended time off and watched, you know, him and some of the other ones. Corbin, Schrodke, number 4, you know, his motor never stops, and you know, every time I looked up, they were at a computer watching film, you know, trying to get ready to see what they can do. And you know, along the way, Tehran has watched film of, you know, Milford has had, you know, some good spread backs come through, and he's watched some film of them and helped to tailor some of their game and what he does. So, you know, yeah, I hated it for him, you know, but I try to tell them that this, you know, this doesn't define them, you know. I mean, we had a good season, and you know, had a good run. You know, 2 seniors had a good career in high school, and so they're blessed, and I'm blessed to have been a part of that.
Last question I have for you. Do you feel like at early, like 170, do you feel early on that 16-0 hole that maybe kind of chase a little bit? You got that early stop.
Did I feel like it made us chase a little bit?
When you feel like that,
Yeah, you know, and I kept telling them, you know, like last year in the state semifinal game, we had a few things start going wrong. And we were only down 12, and it seemed like we were down, you know, 30. You know, I knew that we weren't, but, you know, with the kids, you know, they just kind of felt like, you know, so we were trying to work against that. And I thought we, you know, kind of, like I said, I think we came back and brought it to 8, and then all of a sudden they just created some space, and you know, those turnovers hurt, those penalties hurt, and it just created, I think, the space that they needed to, you know, start pulling away and putting an end to it.
Coach, what are you going to remember most about this season?
You know, I think just the fact that, you know, watching the kids work and how a lot of people will prepare for, you know, Tayron and they'll say that that's all we have. But I think to get to this point, we had other people step up and other people that carried the load, and to see the character of those kids to step up and do that. You know, I thought that was, and you know, to lose some kids from last year, we lost a pretty talented group of receiving core, and they also are defensive backs, and to see the guys develop that we had back there as the year went on and fill that role, I thought, you know, that was a wonderful thing to watch. So.
Final questions?
Oh, were you a fan of the review? I know a couple went against you, but did you like the review?
The review?
The video reviews. Were you a fan of
The challenges.
Challenges.
Oh, I thought they missed the one down here because the ball was laying flat on his belly. I don't know what they saw. Of course, I didn't look at it. You know, we had to walk all the way back to see that. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. It disrupts things some, but we enjoyed the break. So it's kind of like an extra timeout, but you know, it is what it is.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
We have head coach Clinton Lindman from McLean. Coach, can you introduce your student athletes, please?
Yeah, to my right is junior number 20, Ben Crockett, and then to his right is senior number 24, Chisholm Henderson.
Open it up for questions.
Can you find the class of the old readers?
Well, it's funny how it came about. I was reading a book this summer. I believe that book was called With the Old Breed, and it's about the Marines at Okinawa and Peleliu. And we were just talking about it, and I kind of have a military background, and I think these guys are pretty tough and work hard, and they're no nonsense, and we were just kind of talking about it in pre-practice one day. And I said, you guys are kind of like that, you know, kind of like the last of the old breed style, playing hard, and they really liked it, and it just kind of became our moniker, I guess. So that's where that came from.
Started the season, you knew what you wanted. Your goal was to finish it.
Well, we wanted to get better every day. We talk about you either get better or worse every day, and we just want to get better every day, and then better every week. And I'm not sure. I think this was in the back of our minds, but we knew there was a lot of steps to get there, and these guys did a really good job of keeping everything in perspective and taking it step by step.
Tayron Smith for them, you know, that was the most points by a lot you don't give that year. And obviously y'all scored a lot too. But,
yeah.
Talk a little bit about Tayron Smith and how difficult he was to.
Man, he's good. He's good. He's so quick. Quick, laterally, explosive, and then smart. I mean, he just makes decisions quick, and he makes the right decision quick. He was the toughest kid we'd seen all year, by far. And then, you know, his teammates helped him out too, but man, that kid, I was very impressed with that kid.
Coach, did you ever think you would score 100 points in the state championship game?
Well, I'd hoped we'd play better defense where we didn't have to score 100. So no, I sure didn't.
Then you've had some great games this year. Maybe your best game was in the state championship game. Talk about your effort today and then kind of what you saw out there.
Oh, it was a good team win. I had good blockers. Everybody got their assignments done, and I just tried to hit the hole as hard as I could.
Seems like they would try to push you back on first or second round. It happens.
Yes,
Turn
sir.
down, boom, there you go. You just determined today?
Yes, sir. I don't like having negative plays, and like the first play of the game, they got us pretty quick, but that second play we took off.
You know, they said they kind of prided themselves on being in shape and wearing you guys down. Looked like the opposite happened. That you guys wore them down. Talk about that fourth quarter.
We've been in good shape all year. We run in every drill that we have just to try to stay in the best shape we can, and everything we do it as fast as we can and at full speed, just so it's game simulation. So we'll be prepared for it game time.
Ben, run us through that play in the third quarter where you get kind of brought down and tossed the ball over to Caden, and you know that touchdown seemed to kind of swing things there. Just run us through your perspective and you know what happened that play.
I didn't see anybody, and I saw 3 or 4 white jerseys all over me, and I finally saw Caden over there, and I just threw him the ball, hoping we could make a play out of it. And he took off and made like 3 or 4 guys miss and took off.
How did you feel like that kind of swung things in your favor and you know turned things into helped you pull away?
Big time, because that was almost a negative play, a pretty big negative play, and we turned it into a touchdown.
Chisholm, it's your senior year, man. Just kind of speak on how it feels when they go out with the back.
We came out here and we wanted to win, and that's what we did. It feels good, and we got to control our ending, so I'm happy about that.
You guys came down to some stops today. You guys were able to make those. You feel that was the key. You get up 16-0 in the second half of the year, so you feel your stuff.
Those were the key to the game right there. They just, if we wouldn't have got those stops, we'd been going back and forth, and we came out, made a few stops early, and then it was back and forth. And so those were very key.
How good was that? Smith, Chase.
He was good. He made me tired a little bit out there. It was hot in there, but yeah.
Coach, did you guys change anything or talk about anything at halftime to switch things up defensively?
Well, we did. We had a few different calls for everything that they did, and not very many of them worked very well. Obviously, credit to those guys. They were really good, and then just I thought he was so smart, seeing what we were in pre-snap and knowing how to attack it no matter what the play call was. I thought that was pretty special, and luckily we were able to get a stop or two that ended up, kind of being the difference. Well, we go into most games with a lot of stuff offensively, a lot of different looks, and so we don't always have to use it, but it's nice to have it in your back pocket in case you get in a situation like this. There for a while, we couldn't do anything in our tight run game or play action game or anything on those guys, and we had to go to some gun stuff and spread stuff, and Caden Mann's pretty good at that and pretty smart, and so that's a nice tool to have. And so we usually go into a game with a lot of stuff. Whether we use it or not, depends on the game. So thankfully we had it today.
Coach, what does this win mean to the town of McLean?
Well, I think it's a really big deal to the town of McLean, and they've been so supportive of these guys. And these guys grew up there, and these guys have been playing football together since they were little bitty, and it's just neat to see the support from the town and the satisfaction, and they're just very, very proud of these guys.
Ben, just kind of speak on your junior. Kind of speak on some of the things that you watched Chisholm do, and things that you'll probably take into next year and get you guys back in this position.
Oh, he never quit spotting. He started cramping there in the second half, and he was out for a few plays, but he kept coming back in, and I'm sure he was cramping while he was in. He just kept fighting, and he's a big leader on this team, and everybody kind of feeds off of him.
Ben, the game was really tight in the third quarter. We all pulled away. There was a lot of, obviously your teammates did great things too, but there was a lot of, I think you got 12 touchdowns. There was a lot of you making a big play, Tehran making a big play, back and forth early on. I mean, did you feel like you kind of had to answer him sometimes, and was it kind of a back and forth deal between y'all there for a while?
Whenever I got the ball, I felt like I needed to score because I knew that they could drive down the field and score in 2 or 3 plays sometimes, and we had to answer as fast as we could and try to slow him down. So every time I got the ball, I was trying to score.
So you think you can repeat next year?
We're going to try.
Thanks, guys. Congratulations.
Thanks.